Raise your hand if you've ever started the year super motivated, new planner, fresh notebooks, fancy pens, big goals, totally ready to crush it, only to hit February feeling overwhelmed and behind. That was me in 2024. I had this perfect plan, but by mid year, I was drowning in unrealistic goals, no tracking system, and honestly, burnout. So this year, I am doing things differently. I'm creating a plan that actually works with my life, not against it. So no burnout, no guilt, I hope. Just an intentional, sustainable way to make real progress. So if you're a mom, creative, or just someone tired of overcommitting, this video, my friend, is for you. Before we dive into planning, let me share a not so happy story from last year. The inspiration for this video came from my complete breakdown toward the end of 2024. I'll be sharing all my mistakes, what didn't work, so you can steer clear of them too. And honestly, this is also a reminder for me not to repeat them. So mistake number one is setting unrealistic goals. I wrote down way too many goals, thinking I could do everything. Well, spoiler alert, I couldn't. And I didn't. I had all these ambitious course creation plans, thinking I could launch tons of online courses in 1 year. But by the end of the year, I had published only 3 cutesy Skillshare classes and 1 Udemy course. That's way less than in previous years. What happened? I kind of focused too much on finishing a massive Udemy course, and in the process, I completely lost sight of my working system and routine that had been so effective in previous years. And it really showed in my revenue, like big time. Skillshare had been my biggest source of income for years, but in 2024, my revenue dropped by more than 50%. Yes, Skillshare's pay cut might have played a role, but I only published 3 classes, so there's that. Looking back, I should have broken that monster 17-hour Udemy course maybe into smaller, manageable wins. Instead, I set an unrealistic goal, burned out, and then couldn't even touch my computer for over a month. I was just completely drained. But enough of the drama. Here's how I'm fixing it in 2025. This year, I am focusing on fewer but better goals. No more massive 17-hour long courses this time. Just 5 cutesy Skillshare classes and 2 Udemy courses. So manageable, sustainable, and realistic. Honestly, this feels like a little lenient goal for me, but more on that later. So moving on to mistake number 2. No progress tracking that resulted to feeling stuck. In 2024, working on that one big course made it hard to see progress. Before, I was used to publishing an online course or digital product almost every month. But last year, months would pass without a launch, making me feel like I wasn't really getting anywhere. So, here's how I'm fixing it in 2025. This year, I am breaking my goals into quarterly milestones with regular check-ins. Thanks to Ali Abdaal, I've learned a better system for tracking progress. More on that later. For now, here's my last mistake, making rigid plans that resulted to guilt and stress. In 2024, I planned my year as if my life was predictable. But as a mom, well, you guessed it. Between me getting sick and my son getting sick as well, multiple times, losing a loved one, and other unexpected events, my plans kept getting derailed. And the result? Guilt, stress, and the feeling of constantly falling behind. But here's how I'm fixing it in 2025. This year, I am building buffer days and even buffer months into my schedule. That way, when life happens, because it will, I won't feel like my entire plan is ruined. These 3 mistakes might not seem massive to some, but they deeply affected my mental health, my income, and how I showed up for my family. The last quarter of 2024 was rough. I was cramming to finish a huge online course I had committed to, and somewhere along the way, I lost the joy of online course creation. And that's heartbreaking because I love teaching. I love creating courses. But by the end of 2024, I felt like a robot just pushing through deadlines. It was an ugly experience, but one I learned so much from. They say we learn more from failures than from success, and I believe that. So I'm taking everything I've learned and using it to start 2025 strong with a clear vision, better systems, and a plan that actually works. Hopefully. Starting with number one, setting a clear vision for 2025. So instead of setting random goals, I now start with three core focus areas: family, business, and creativity. For family, prioritizing presence over perfection. For business, creating from alignment, not from pressure. For creativity, making space for things that bring me joy. Which brings me to a low-key announcement about the changes coming to this channel. For the past few years, I've been creating content focused on food and product photography tutorials. While I love it, I've often felt limited. Sometimes I want to share personal milestones and invite you into my world. Last year, I struggled with this because I didn't want to hurt my analytics or risk being punished by the algorithm. But after a lot of reflection, I made a decision. This channel is evolving. It's no longer just a hub for food and product photography tutorials. It will be a space where I can connect with moms and creatives who want to capture family moments through photography and videography. Because that actually brings me joy and it makes me excited. I have a gazillion photos and videos of my family that I haven't posted on Instagram because they didn't fit my feed. And honestly, that felt inauthentic and limiting. So moving forward, my videos will center around my journey as a mompreneur and creative. There will still be plenty of photography and videography tips, but with a stronger focus on capturing family moments and the beauty of everyday life. And finally, I can share all our secrets for capturing beautiful family memories. So that's it for my mini announcement. Going back to step one, setting clear vision for 2025, I encourage you to do the same. Set a clear vision for 2025. You can simplify it by choosing focus areas like family, business, and creativity, or family, travel, and fitness, or maybe art, self-care, and career. It's totally up to you. You can also choose a theme word for the year. For me, my word is simplify. It helps me stay aligned when making decisions. So before saying yes to a project, I ask, does this simplify my life or add stress? So do the same thing for you. Ask yourself, what will I actually care about at the end of the year? Write it down or brainstorm. This is your chance to finally use that cute and beautiful notebook hiding in your drawer somewhere. Just like I did, I wrote mine so I can revisit it whenever I lose track. Next is my less but better goals for the year. I used to think that the more goals I set, the more progress I'd make. I lived by the whole aim for the stars, land on the moon mentality. Not sure who said that, but I was all in. I also had the go big or go home mindset, constantly pushing myself to outwork the competition. But you know what? That approach didn't work for me. After years of trial and error, I realized something important. More goals don't always mean more success. In fact, sometimes they just mean more stress. That's why this year I am embracing the less but better approach. Instead of cramming my plate with a million things, I am focusing on fewer, more intentional goals. Ones that actually move the needle for me and my business and my family and still give me room to breathe. So, here's the plan. Publish 5 Skillshare classes, 3 short ones and 2 in-depth ones. Launch 2 Udemy courses, but not those massive, overwhelming ones, just super actionable and to the point. And instead of cramming everything into a few crazy months, I'm spacing them out throughout the year with plenty of buffer time. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of work, and yeah, it kinda is, but trust me, this year isn't just about grinding. I've got some exciting things lined up too, like a fun birthday dinner, a stay at Okada, Manila for my son's 6th birthday and my mother-in-law's birthday, a beach trip to Boracay for my husband's birthday, and maybe, just maybe, another beach trip in November if everything falls into place. Now for the 90-day goal framework, I got this from Ali Abdaal's video, Stop Wasting Time, How to Change Your Life in 90 Days. In this video, he talks about 2 big goal setting mistakes. And the one that hit me hardest, trying to do too much at once. His solution, focus on just 2 goals every 90 days. One work-related goal, aka work quest. One personal goal, aka life quest. Now, why quest, you ask? Because in his book, Feel Good Productivity, Ali says making work feel like play is the key to staying consistent. And honestly, calling them quest just makes them sound way more fun than quarterly goals. So, here's how I broke down my year into 90-day quest. So for the first quarter, February to April, my main work quest is to publish my YouTube for Beginners Skillshare class and Udemy course. I chose this as my first goal because I spent the end of 2024 rethinking my YouTube channel. The way I was doing it before felt limiting, like I mentioned earlier. So I want to get better at YouTube. And what better way than by teaching it, right? Next, for my life quest, I want to prioritize my health by limiting sweets and doing weight training. My goal is to go from 75.45 kilograms to 65 to maybe 69. Not because of aesthetics, though that's a nice bonus, but because I've been feeling bloated, sluggish, and just off. So no extreme crash diets, just 2 simple habits. Less sugar and more weight training. That's it. Simplify, remember? So, for the second quarter, from May to July, my main work quest is to focus on digital marketing for my courses and digital products. This means experimenting with ads, running Pinterest campaigns, and documenting my results. I'll also be updating our digital marketing Udemy course and repurposing content into short Skillshare classes. Now, for my life quest, I will keep up my healthy habits and refine my daily routines. New weight goal will be 60 kilograms. And I just want to share what's motivating me. It's our September trip to Boracay. I am hoping this lifestyle shift will naturally lead to a stronger, healthier, and let's be honest, more beach-ready version of me. Now for the third quarter, August to October, my work quest is to publish my iPhone photography Skillshare Masterclass and Udemy course. These 2 courses will have similar content, but I'll tailor them for each platform because yes, Udemy and Skillshare students have different learning styles. So for my life quest, I will make more space for creativity, hobbies, and quality time with my family. I'll still continue my health journey, aiming for 50 to 55 kilograms, but this quarter is also about living, doing things that inspire me and bring me joy. Why I only planned for 3 quarters, not 4? I intentionally left November and December open. No big goals, no crazy deadlines, just time to slow down, reflect, and fully enjoy the holiday season. The only things set in stone here are the Black Friday promos and my father-in-law's birthday. Everything else, totally flexible. If I feel like working, great. If not, that's cool too. The whole point is to not stress. This new approach is my way of being kinder to myself while still making real progress. And I encourage you to try it too. Instead of setting a million overwhelming goals, ask yourself, what will actually move the needle for me? How can I make my goals work for me, not stress me out? And how can I make this whole thing more fun? Now, if you need more guidance, I highly recommend checking out Ali Abdaal's video on setting quarterly goals. It completely shifted my mindset. Less but better, right? But I am so excited knowing that by the end of this year, I'll have at least 5 new Skillshare classes, 2 Udemy courses, and, fingers crossed, a snatched waistline. Plus, I've built in plenty of buffer time for life's unexpected moments. Because let's be real, between family chaos, meltdowns, and those inevitable distractions, even the unexpected deserves a spot on the calendar. Which brings me to my last step, bullet journaling. If you've been wondering how I'm keeping track on all these goals, it's not with a pre-designed planner. Instead, I use a bullet journal, and honestly, it's been a total game changer for me. Let's face it, there's no way I could store all of this just in my head. With my bullet journal, I can customize everything to fit my planning style while also leaving space for monthly and weekly activities. It's the perfect balance between structure and flexibility, which has been a lifesaver in keeping me organized without feeling restricted. I first learned about bullet journaling from Dylan Merwinski's class on Skillshare, Bullet Journaling Life Management for Creatives. And it completely changed how I plan and journal. And the biggest takeaway from this class, you're not limited by pre-made planners. With a bullet journal, you design everything yourself. So you can brain dump, plan, brainstorm, and even store meaningful memories, all in one place. So here's how I set up my bullet journal for 2025. And it's already been a game changer. So first, I have my future spread. This is my yearly overview where I jot down important events I don't want to miss, like birthdays, launches, and milestones. It helps me see the big picture at a glance. Next is my monthly spreads. Each month, I have a task list and projects, a space to write small wins each day, a simple tracker on the side. Since my theme for the year is simplify, I am only tracking 2 key habits, the ones that truly move the needle for me. So I have my work quest. I shade this whenever I finish at least one script or film a video. Life quest, since my goal is a healthier lifestyle, I color it whenever I walk, run, work out, or avoid sweets. Next, I have my gratitude spread. I also have my achievements and milestones. This is where I reflect on things I'm grateful for, small wins and milestones throughout the year. It's a great way to stay motivated and celebrate progress. Next, I have my quarterly goals and action steps. I've broken down my big goals into doable steps with clear actions to help me achieve them. Instead of setting overwhelming yearly resolutions, this keeps things flexible and realistic. Next, I also have my brainstorming and brain dumps. I finally gave myself a dedicated space to process ideas, map out projects, and organize my thoughts. I didn't have this last year, and I can already see how much it's helping me stay clear and focused. The moment I started bullet journaling, I felt more organized and intentional with my time. And let's be real, it's also an excuse to finally use those cute pens and highlighters collecting dust in my drawer. Now, if you're new to bullet journaling and want thoughtful step-by-step guide, I highly recommend Dylan Merwinski's class, Bullet Journaling Life Management for Creatives on Skillshare. You can start for free using my referral code in the description below. And that's a wrap on my 2025 game plan. If you're still here, first of all, thank you for sticking around. And as a little thank you, and because I really want for you to succeed and thrive this year too, I am sharing the productivity hacks I've been using since the start of year that have actually made a difference. First is time blocking over hourly planning. So instead of scheduling every hour, I break my day into chunks. So morning, afternoon, and evening. Mornings are all about family, so making breakfast, lunch, doing house chores, and soaking in slow moments before the day gets busy. Afternoons are for deep work. This is when I focus on creating course content, writing scripts, and filming. Since my brain knows this is my work zone, I don't waste time deciding when to work. It's already set. Evenings are for recharging. A walk outside, playtime with my son, a light workout, takeout from our favorite spot, and maybe half a movie before bedtime stories and cuddles. To track my progress, I shade in my bullet journal every time I complete a task. It's such a simple but powerful way to see my small wins add up. Next, number 2 is planning the night before. This goes hand in hand with my bullet journal. Every night, I jot down my top task for the next day in a small notebook. That way, I don't wake up feeling lost or overwhelmed. I also take a moment to write down a few things I'm grateful for that day. It's a habit that keeps me grounded. Number 3 is setting realistic daily tasks. So instead of writing finish Skillshare class, which sounds massive and stressful, I break it down into something doable, like write one script lesson. This makes my goals feel more manageable and keeps me motivated. And funnily enough, once I start, I usually end up finishing more than I planned. Next is number 4, saying no to distractions, my number 1 boundary. I've learned that every yes to something random is a no to what truly matters. This year, my husband and I have been extra intentional about our boundaries. We uninstalled Facebook and started saying no to a lot of social events. Not because we're antisocial, but because we're prioritizing the things that move the needle for our family and business. 2025 is all about real progress and learning from last year's mistakes. Finally, number 5, my hybrid system for staying organized. You already know about my bullet journal and my daily task notebook, but I also rely on Google Calendar for scheduling, Google Keep for quick notes when I don't have my notebook, and Google Sheets for bigger projects and planning. So it's a mix of digital and paper, and it works perfectly for me. But of course, the key is to find a system that works best for you. At the end of the day, there's no perfect plan, just a flexible one that fits your life. So, tell me in the comments, what's your one big focus for 2025? Also, I'd love to know what part of this video resonated with you. How do you like to start the year? Drop your thoughts below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe for more content like this. Thank you so much for planning the year with me. Let's make 2025 a year of focused, joyful progress. See you in the next one. Bye!